Hi everyone, welcome to a new video update. Well, it's going some rumors online on YouTube. Yeah, you maybe know it. George Lucas, yeah, there's many videos about George Lucas that he regret selling the rights of Star Wars to Disney. Yeah, and he's mad at Disney for ruin Star Wars. Yeah, he's done many things about that on YouTube lately. Well, it's not. Yeah, it's not Disney that's gonna get all the blame for this. Well, half of the blame is George Lucas' fault. Yeah, George Lucas' fault because he was a sucker that needed money. And when that time comes, for a couple of years ago, when he sold this to Disney back in 2014, 15, or 16, back then, he decided, oh, I need some money to create other projects. So what can I do to get the money I need? Oh, that's right. I can sell my baby. And his baby is Star Wars. And he is the creator of Star Wars. Yeah, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, and Han Solo. And the rest of the cast in that movie and the universe. So George Lucas, back in the 70s, he comes up with this idea to create a story about space, father and son, the good side and the evil side. Yeah. So he comes up with this idea to create Star Wars. But Star Wars didn't, that's, Stevens, George Lucas, he wanted Star Wars to be in his vision. But there were too many things that they changed. So also Star Wars was and become other, not quite as George Lucas wanted, because they have to change a couple of things. Yeah, and also when he created the first movie, A New Hope. Yeah, and Steven Spielberg and George Lucas went on vacation back then. Well, because that George Lucas didn't know that this movie is gonna be a success or not. And after they got back from vacation, and then he heard that, oh, your movie, Star Wars, A New Hope, was a success. Yeah, people around the world, they loved that movie. And that George Lucas comes up with, oh, then we do Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, and the sixth one, Star Wars 6, back in the 80s, was a huge success. And then in the 90s, he decides to go back to the beginning of the story. Well, because he made 4, 5, 6, and now he wants to go back because the technology. So he create Anakin Skywalker as a young kid in the Phantom Menace. Yeah, you see that Anakin Skywalker is young. And well, he wants that kid to come back in Star Wars 2, the second movie. But, there were some issues, problems, or something. So they find another to play Anakin Skywalker as a teenager. And in 2005, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they create Star Wars 3. The prequels. And people loved those 6 movies. And there also were some TV shows, the Clone Wars and other Star Wars TV shows. And then later on, 10 years maybe after Star Wars 3, George Lucas decides to sell his baby because he needed the money for another project or something, or family, or. So it comes up with this that, I can sell it to Disney. Yeah. So he sold it to Disney. And, well, he talks to Disney what kind of road they're going to do when they're going to do Star Wars 7 and, But Disney didn't. They went the other way. They didn't listen to George Lucas at all. No. If they did, Star Wars maybe will be a huge success if they went that road George Lucas wanted to go. Yeah. Then Star Wars 7, 8, 9 would be a huge success. Maybe. But, Disney went the other road, the other way. And see what it got them? Yeah. Well, just like back in the 80s, when James Cameron comes up with this idea to create robot from the future, robot android, and he called it Terminator from the future. Yeah, and he created that movie, Terminator, the first movie. It was awesome, amazing, exciting, enjoyable. Yeah, people enjoy it. They loved it, Terminator, when it was on the big screen back in the 80s. Arnold Schwarzenegger played awesome, amazing as Terminator. And a couple of years later, in the beginning of 1990, I believe 91, then Terminator 2, the second movie, was released. James Cameron was back. Arnold Schwarzenegger was back. Linda Hamilton was back. Yeah. And they got some new cast. That kid, the boy who played Eddie Furlong or something. He played Linda Hamilton's son in Terminator Judgment Day. And we have a guy named Patrick or something that played the bad guy, also from the future. And he wants to track down John Connor, and get rid of him. And Arnold Schwarzenegger plays the hero in that movie. He plays the nice Terminator that were sent back to protect John Connor and his mom, Sarah Connor, who played by Linda Hamilton. Yeah. on the big screen. People loved that movie. They loved it. They enjoyed it. It was awesome, amazing, and exciting. And it was a huge success. Yeah, James Cameron did it again. Yeah, he was on the top with Terminator 2 and Terminator number 1. Yeah. And also back in 2000, at the beginning, they decided to come up with, new Terminator, let's make Terminator 3. But bad news. James Cameron wasn't there. No, he wasn't. So how can we make Terminator 3? Rise of the Machines without James Cameron? Then it was another guy that was the director, producer, that creates Terminator 3. Yeah. And we got Arnold Schwarzenegger back. He's back now. And they create Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, with a female as the bad guy. Yeah. But, that Terminator 3, people didn't like it. Well, some people liked it. Some people did. But other people didn't. So that went down the drain. And a couple of years later, let's do another Terminator movie. But Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't there. And James Cameron wasn't there either. So how can we create a Terminator movie without Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator and James Cameron as the director? Then another person comes. I can create Terminator Salvation. So they created Terminator Salvation. And into the future without Arnold Schwarzenegger. But later in the movie, you see this huge Terminator comes and fights John Connor with Arnold Schwarzenegger's face and body. But it wasn't the real Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was a special effect eye, something that they did to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So that's a little bit of Arnold Schwarzenegger we got there, but not the real one. No. That movie, Terminator Salvation, down the drain. Couple of years later, let's make Terminator 5 and call it Genesis. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger's back. But James Cameron, Linda Hamilton, and the other cast members, no, they weren't back. No. So how can we create Terminator 5 without James Cameron again? I can do it. Then another person comes in and was the director. And boom! Created Terminator 5. Let's get Doctor Who. Yeah, the guy who plays Doctor Who. Matt Smith. Yeah, he was one of the cast members. So he played a bad guy in this movie. And let's get Emilia Clarke to play the young Sarah Connor. Well, some people, they hated the movie. They didn't like it. But some people did. Yeah. But it went down the drain again. And that Sarah Connor Chronicles, the TV show that continues from Terminator 2. Yeah. So in 2018, before Terminator Dark Fate comes out, I was watching an interview with James Cameron and Tim Miller on YouTube. We're going to clean up the mess. So we're going to clean up Sarah Connor Chronicles, Terminator 3, Terminator 4 and 5. And we're going to erase them from the franchise. Yeah. So they're going to do Terminator 6. Yeah, Terminator 6. So people have to watch Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and Terminator 6 to get the story. So they brought Linda Hamilton. Yeah, she's back. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's back. And they brought Eddie Furlong, the kid that plays in Terminator 2. But this wasn't the real Eddie Furlong. No. It was a guy, a little boy that has, something that they scanned into the computer and they made him look like Eddie Furlong as a young John Connor. So at the beginning of Terminator Dark Fate, it opens up. You see that John Connor and his mom are on the beach. They go into this bar, and you see John Connor buy something to drink, and he turns around and comes to his mom. But before that, you see the Terminator comes and shoots John Connor straight down. He dies. So people start wondering, what happened? Isn't John Connor the one that's going to save the universe from Terminators in the future? But who will save the future now when John Connor got killed? So people start wondering that. And they walk out of the cinema, the movies. They walked out. The rest of the movie wasn't that interested because, John Connor got killed at the beginning. So now the movie wasn't that interesting to watch because the hero, John Connor, was killed. Years went by. And you see that it was a Mexican girl who lives with her brothers, one brother and a father, and you see that the father comes to the job where a daughter and her brothers worked. But this wasn't the real father. It was the bad guy that changed into the father. Just like in Terminator 3. When you see this woman from the future, the bad guy. Yeah. Changed to this woman, Brewster in Terminator 3. Turned into her fiancé. It was almost the same in Terminator 6. And you see this girl from the future comes and beat the crap out of the bad guy. And later on you see that this girl and the young girl, the Mexican girl and brother are in this truck. And you see that her brother dies. They were in a car accident. Yeah, so the brother to this Mexican girl dies. And you see that the Mexican girl and the other girl from the future, they escaped the truck. And the truck blew up. And a little bit afterwards, you see that a car comes driving at this bridge. And you see there's some feet coming out of the car. and then you see the camera goes higher and higher. Then you see Linda Hamilton shoots the bad guy. Yeah. Well, it was awesome. Yeah, awesome, amazing to see Linda Hamilton return at as Sarah Connor. Yeah, it was awesome, amazing. Yeah, but bad news. James Cameron. He wasn't interested to create Terminator 6. No. I'm going to give the chair to you, Tim Miller. You are the new director now, so you can direct and create Terminator 6. And I'm going to do what I do best and create those Avatar movies. So James Cameron wasn't interested to create Terminator Dark Fate. No! He gave the director chair, to Tim Miller instead. And see what happened? Straight in the mud. Down the drain. Yeah. Well, Star Wars 1 till 6. Huge success. You know why? Because George Lucas, he was the guy that created those 6 movies. And Star Wars 7, 8, and 9 wasn't George Lucas. No. He didn't create those movies. It was Disney. And you saw what happened to that. Straight in the mud. Terminator 1 and 2, James Cameron. But 3, 5, and 6, and Sarah Connor Chronicles, the TV show, straight in the mud. Because James Cameron wasn't there. No. So George Lucas have some blame in this. Yeah. Because he was a sucker. Because he sold his baby to Disney. Yeah. So he got some blame in this. Yeah. And you see why? Because you are greedy. Oh, I need money. Money. How can I get money? Oh, I can sell my baby. The movie Star Wars. Yeah, I can sell that and get money for that. So George Lucas, he did. Well, he sold the rights to wrong people. The wrong people. Yeah. Well, Disney, they create many TV shows. Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's between Star Wars 3 and Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Between there. Yeah. And you see what happens when James Cameron didn't care to create Terminator movies in the 2000? No, he didn't care at all. Oh, I'm going to create those Avatar movies instead. Yeah. So see what happened to that? Straight in the mud. Yeah. Well, so if James Cameron did create Terminator 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe those 4 movies got to be success. Maybe those movies become a success if James Cameron did those movies and the TV show Sarah Connor Chronicles, but he didn't. So if George Lucas did Star Wars 7, 8, and 9, perhaps they got to be success. But George Lucas didn't. So see what happened when you sell your baby, you gave away your baby to the wrong people, straight in the mud. Yeah. And well, you know that Ghostbusters back in 2016 with those women. Was it the original producer, director, and writers that created Ghostbusters 1 and 2 back in the 80s? Or was it some other people? Yeah. That got bad reviews, straight in the mud. Yeah. Well, out of Ghostbusters, I like Ghostbusters 1 and 2 that was released in the 80s, and Ghostbusters Afterlife and The Frozen Empire in 2000. I like those movies. 4 movies. But the women that played in Ghostbusters, well, it could be a little better. Yeah. If they did some special effects that worked, and the humor, yeah, it was too much humor, comedy in that movie, but it ruined it all. Yeah, so it could be better that women 2016. Yeah. So that's what happened when George Lucas got greedy. Yeah, because I need some money. I don't have any money left, so I have to sell something. Oh, let's sell Star Wars. I don't need Star Wars anymore, so I sell it to the wrong people. So George Lucas got greedy because he needed the money. Yeah. And, James Cameron, he didn't care about Terminator. No. So he let other people create Terminator instead of him. And see what happened? Haven't George Lucas or James Cameron learned a thing? Yeah. You cannot sell or give away your baby. But James Cameron and George Lucas, they did. Yeah. So that's why Terminator and Star Wars was fall down the drain, because George Lucas sold it to the wrong people, and James Cameron gave his baby Terminator to the wrong people. Yeah, so that's why it didn't work, and that's why it failed. Yeah. So if George Lucas and James Cameron created Terminator 3, 4, 5, 6, and Sarah Connor, and Star Wars 7, 8, and 9, and those TV shows, maybe it would be a hit, a success. But it didn't. It failed. So, and Star Wars 7, 8, 9, out of those 3, I like Star Wars 7, The Force Awakens. Yeah, I like that one. But Star Wars 8 and 9, well, it has some moments in them, but they were not great. But they have some moment in there. So, yeah. So, one thing I have to say to George Lucas and James Cameron, shame on you two both. Yeah. Shame on you two. I hope you learned that you cannot be greedy for money or give away your baby. No. I hope I learned about that. Yeah. So shame on you both. Yeah, and you know that Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia, passed away. Yeah, and Mark Hamill, that plays Luke Skywalker, while he's alive. Harrison Ford, who plays Han Solo, he's alive as well. So rest in peace to all of those people that started in Terminator and Star Wars through the years that passed away. There are maybe some of those cast members that passed away through the years. So rest in peace to you. So that's it for now. Share your knowledge, collection with other Doctor Who fans all over the world. And as the fourth Doctor used to say, do you want a jelly baby? And if you have watched this video till the end, hashtag shame on you, George Lucas and James Cameron. Shame on you, George Lucas and Cameron. Yeah, that's the hashtag. So, bye. Well, when I watched Star Wars Episode 7, yeah, I was curious if they're gonna do the right to move on, as we saw in Star Wars Episode 7. Well, when you saw the helmet that belongs to Darth Vader, yeah, well, I thought that, oh, Darth Vader's back. Or maybe we're gonna see his ghost, or maybe he was brought back to life, or something. And you know, the spaceship that, you know, the girl Rey was in, yeah, I thought that they're gonna do something about that also. But no, they didn't. And Star Wars 7, 8 and 9, now we saw that Princess Leia, or Admiral Leia, died in Star Wars Episode 8. Yeah. And Luke Skywalker was killed off by Leia and Han Solo's son. Yeah, he killed Luke. Yeah. And in Episode 9, well, you saw that at the end that Rey, oh, my name is Rey Skywalker now. But she wasn't related to any Skywalkers. No. So, well, so at the ending there, that was wrong ending. Yeah, they have to change that ending. And you know that the bad guy in Star Wars 8, 7, and 9, Ben, Han Solo and Leia's son. I didn't like that guy. No, I didn't. And Terminator, James Cameron, you have, you know that you are to blame also for that Terminator 3, 4, 5, 6 was down the drain. Yeah. So you are much to blame for this. Yeah. Because you didn't care create Terminator 3, 4, 5, 6. No, you don't care about that. The only thing you care about is those Avatar movies. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Why did you create Terminator at the first place? Yeah. Why did you create that character in the 80s and create a movie both 80s and the beginning of the 90s? Yeah. And then in 2000, you don't care to create more movies about Terminator? No. You gave the chair to other people that took your baby and put it down the toilet. Yeah. And you, George Lucas, you were greedy for money. And you sold the rights, your baby, to the wrong people. And that's Disney. And they put your baby down the toilet as well. Yeah. So shame on you too, James Cameron and George Lucas. Yeah. You two were you two was awesome and amazing. Yeah. Because you created movies, great movies through the years. But now, George Lucas is greedy for money. And James Cameron, you don't care about Terminator anymore. If you cared, you would be the one that created Dark Fate. But you wasn't. No. You gave the chair to Tim Miller. Yeah. And Tim Miller put your baby in the toilet. Yeah. So I hope you too think about this. Yeah. From now on, George Lucas and James Cameron, keep your babies. Don't give it away or sell it